Hello, everyone. Hello, Internet. This is another episode of the Unpackers. And Jip is not present today. Of course, Ilko is. But even despite him not being around, this podcast studio has more energy than ever before because we invited the one and only Lars Koistra, also known as the TCT trader.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Welcome.
guys for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Glad to be around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you are in a pure adrenaline mode since last, 2 weeks, ever since you launched your Discord.
I have been sleep deprived, so to speak. Yeah, it has been absolutely crazy. Also, when we went live, I thought I had everything figured out from a user experience perspective and everything, but everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Okay.
And literally everything, the emails were getting into spams of people, and they didn't know how to sign up because it wasn't clear enough apparently.
All right.
And then after 2 days of being live, I got an email from Stripe, who is the payment provider, and he was like, your account has been blocked. So no one could sign up for the TCT community at the time. And I think I had to file in every single paper since I was born on this planet.
Really?
About my whole existence and what TCT was about and the Discord, because the business itself, I think they're not that used to Discord payments and subscriptions and trading. So I had to give a whole explanation. And luckily, after like 48 hours, they did give me my Stripe account back, and then everything continued. And I was on the phone with developers, and now everything after 2 weeks is kind of a streamlined process where people are not DMing me about, hey, I paid, but there's no email. How do I sign up? And it has been busy. It has been busy.
Okay. But in the end, now it's running.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think you took the scene quite by storm lately. You came for us out of nowhere, obviously for yourself not. Yeah, TCT, we've heard it already a couple of times. Can you explain what that is, what your trading style is?
Yeah, so TCT, very generalized. It's just a smart money concept. So when I started trading, I was really struggling when I was trying different stuff regarding divergences and trend lines and indicators. And I went down the whole road of everything, even software regarding exo charts and actually seeing the buys and sells in each single candle. And nothing was working. So I was like, okay, why? I wanted to come down to the basics of the market of, okay, why does the market actually move? And that's basically because if we're going up, demand is greater than supply. And if we're going down, supply is greater than demand. So I was like, let me just go down to the basics of why the markets actually move. Like, you can bounce from a trend line, but you're not bouncing because it's a trend line. You're bouncing because the demand is greater than the supply there.
Yeah.
So I kind of went down the smart money concept rabbit hole of, watching YouTube videos on market structure and some liquidity videos. And then I discovered Wyckoff. And Wyckoff is basically market maker involvement in the chart regarding accumulations and distributions. So that's a very fancy way of saying, okay, why do the markets actually move? Who can move the markets? Because us as a single trader with our few $1,000s in the market,
Yeah, right.
we're not going to move. So I kind of made the conclusion that, okay, the markets only move because the market maker decides to move the market. And a trade only goes in our favor if the market maker decides to push the trade in our favor.
Right.
Like, it's totally up to them in order if my trade is going to hit the take profit or the stop loss. So when I figured out Wyckoff, which is literally seeing market maker involvement in the chart, I was like, I think this could be it. And I dove down the whole Wyckoff analyst websites and kind of figured that out. And I just combined it with the market structure and the liquidity concepts that I already knew because of certain YouTube videos and people. And I kind of made this concept regarding range trading and deviations and liquidity grabs. And I've just applied that as a strategy. And a few years later, and now I'm a profitable trader using TCT concepts.
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
stuff.
Because TCT is your own branding that later on you put onto it, right?
Exactly. So first, my name was Trader Koistra because my name is Lars Koistra. But I wanted to have something catchy, something that people can use in hashtags and all that stuff. And when I was on the website and I learned from Richard Wyckoff, who is the creator of Wyckoff schematics, he told us on that website that you need to look at the market as if it's controlled by a single person. Let's call him
the composite man. Yeah.
the composite man. And I was like, well, my whole trading is based on understanding that guy, understanding the composite man.
Right. Yeah.
That makes me the composite trader, you know?
Yeah.
And that way I kind of reframed it to TCT. And you have a famous other trader called ICT. So TCT is already very catchy.
Yeah.
And from there, I kind of renamed the Wyckoff accumulation models to TCT accumulation models. But I always tell people that it's, Wyckoff is the fundamental aspect of TCT. We've just applied different details, different certain extra edges that you can actually trade it.
Which ones? Is that? This is a podcast, obviously, but can we explain it a little bit?
Yeah, so when you go on the Wyckoff website, you'll see distribution schematics. And it's basically a range that is deviating in a certain side. So let's say you have a range and you're deviating your range high. That kind of means that the market maker is trying to trap people into potentially breakout longing that deviation, while at the same time grabbing the liquidity that is resting above that high. So when you're deviating your high, that shows signs of a distribution. So when people are breakout longing, or those liquidity or those stop loss are getting mitigated, that causes buy orders to come into the market, which allows him to fill his selling positions. Because in order to move the market, you need lots of money. Like, depending on the market, we're talking billions and billions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions. So you can't just press short or long with $100 million. You will mess up your whole entry because you'll cause massive spread. Probably there will not even be 100 million sellers at that specific moment in time to fill your buy order. So what they do, and it's probably also algorithms, they identify where are those 100 million buy orders resting from a liquidity perspective. And they'll push price to that point until those 100 million buy orders get triggered, which allows them to fill the short, kind of absorbing all those buys and then making price reverse. So it's a whole searching for where the liquidity is. That's where they move the market to, for then it to reverse back down. That's kind of how the accumulation distributions come into play. The thing is, regarding Wyckoff schematics, if you go on the website, you'll see a schematic that has 10 different letter combinations,
and the spring,
five different phases of A, B, C, D, and E, and all these volume indicators with spikes, and it's too complicated. If you try to trade Wyckoff, you will not have a trade. Maybe one trade every 3 months where it's actually picture perfect from the schematics he has given. So what I did is I took the core principles from Wyckoff, which is basically deviations, and you have a Wyckoff model 1, which is just a range low and a range high, and then 2 deviations where either each deviation goes lower than the previous one or higher, depending on if it's an accumulation or a distribution. And then for a model 2, it's simply one deviation of your range low or your range high, followed by a higher low or a lower high. So I took those, that's literally the core principle, a range and either 2 deviations on the highs or 2 deviations at the lows, or a range with 1 deviation at the highs or 1 deviation at the lows, followed by a lower high or a higher low. And that's basically an accumulation and distribution model. So I took those core principles, applied the market structure rules that I already knew, and then that way kind of made it a profitable strategy.
Yeah, so far a lot of it I've been, we are experimenting with it quite a lot, and I think you see a whole lot of we're in a bubble as traders. In the bubble that we see all these traders with white backgrounds now. Even Sergio, the one who also wasn't there, now also converted himself to white background. I saw.
Yeah. Taking over.
Taking over. Yeah, for sure.
And you see all these, putting all these dots on the on the charts and whatnot. So I think you've got quite an influence there.
But there is a reason for that, because if the reason why I kind of came by storm is because it was a unique way of trading. Not that many people knew about accumulation and distribution models. They knew about liquidity concepts, but they didn't. I think a lot of people didn't have that actual edge of how they can properly use those liquidity concepts in a profitable way. And I was doing that. And I came and I went public with how I was trading. I made YouTube videos of my post-trading analysis. And Yeah, if you just watch a few videos and you kind of are interested and you apply it to the chart yourself, you will soon realize that it happens every day on any asset, doesn't matter, and it works very good. So when something works very good, that's why you start using it, and that's why many people now have dots on the charts
Right.
and
Yeah.
white charts
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people, and I call them snollygasters. I don't know if you know the term, but they're kind of, well, a bit weird in their head, a bit cocky. They know it all. They know how to trade. They know how the rules work. But yet, a lot of those people are still looking at you and still finding new ways to, well, let's say, create a new mindset, because you created a new mindset in a very fast way. Can you elaborate on that one? How did it come that you became well, let's say, famous on the web within the trader community that fast? Is it just because you took Wyckoff and just because you lay down your own sauce on it?
It's I remember making my account and then just posting some trading setups, and I was obviously also smart enough to do technical analysis on certain projects that were having hype, you know?
Right, right.
So in the beginning, you always need to gain attention. So I was applying the same educational content just on projects that were hyped up. So obviously, if you use the hashtag of that project, you'll get some attention because people are looking at the project.
Right.
And then just by posting consistently, I actually got invited on a stream of a pretty big guy in the crypto space who has like, I think they have like 20,000 on YouTube and they have a big business running. And then on that live stream, I was so nervous. I remember I was so nervous. And we had like 5,000 live viewers.
Yeah.
And I think I did pretty good. And then the people loved me. And then it boosted my followers from like 900 to like 2.5K.
It was a Kickstarter.
It was a good Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then from there, once you have that tiny beginning of followers, that's when you start getting in that algorithm properly. And then it just accelerates from there.
Right.
Great.
But I did have a good kickstart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and some counter argument or another to put another sound to it. Is Wyckoff also applicable to? Is it enough applicable to the crypto market, or as other people say, no, it's more in mature markets, it's more for stocks or what have you? Can it be applied like you say so much or not?
Yeah, it applies to every market. The only market where there is a slight difference in how I would use it is future trading. Because future trading happens very fast. You'll still see it, but just less. Because in futures, price moves up and down very quickly. So oftentimes when you have to wait for market structure, you need to wait for those zigzag points in the chart.
Right.
But that takes time to create those zigzag points. And in futures, you'll see very fast moves. So if it works less good in a certain market, it would be the NQ and the ES market. But personally, I trade crypto, gold, and Euro USD. So basically commodities and Forex live. And I think it works sometimes even better in Forex than in crypto, but it works as good in almost every market. Because every market needs to move. So every market has a market maker, or multiple, obviously. And if the market moves, there's a market maker manipulating, and then you can find TCT anywhere.
Did you ever speak? I don't know. Obviously, they won't admit it formally, but did you ever speak to market makers and if they actually do this and how they do this and how they look at you people like you, how to try to outsmart them so they can change their game? Did you actually test this thesis of yours?
So I've never been in contact with a market maker. I would love to. I would love to be in contact with the actual market maker, but it was just it made the most sense to me that this is actually what they do. Sometimes I do ask myself of like, who is doing this? Like, why does my schematic work on the 1 minute time frame, right? Because when I'm talking about market makers, in my mind, right, you're talking about big institutional firms. You can even call BlackRock or just banks that have trading platforms and all that stuff. Or brokers, sometimes even exchanges in crypto. Exchanges, you'll be surprised that exchanges are actually market makers because they have to make the market for their exchange, right? Sure. That's why you'll see different prices if you look at the same pair on different exchanges. Now,
the Unpackers podcast wouldn't be possible without our very much trusted partners, Bright Fund. And in my honest opinion, they're also by far the most reliable prop firm in the trading space. With millions of dollars already paid out, they're one of the highest rated prop firms online. And besides all of the Forex pairs that they offer, they now also offer 40 plus crypto pairs for you to trade yourself.
It just made the most, it made the most sense for me that, when I was looking at market maker involvement, I was more thinking from the high time frame of they're doing big moves or accumulating on the high time frame for big expansions. But the schematic also works on the 1 minute.
Right.
So then I'm like, why does it also work on the 1 minute? And the only conclusion that I can take from that is that they just have maybe certain algorithms running who have all the data, all the liquidity points, and it just goes automatically, because I don't think there's a market maker on the 1 minute time frame scalping. But sometimes, you don't need to know how the car is built in order to drive it.
Yeah, but I had the same thing with Sergio Marnik was here with his data. I want to understand why his data work, or how these market makers indeed function.
Mm-hmm.
But I shouldn't, because I just should apply the damn data and just go with it, and not try to outsmart it. Talking about data, I was in your stream today and I picked up the quote: "When Fred is on the chart, the market makers, what was it? Fred is on the chart. Data is basically overridden," or something like that.
Data is invalidated.
But bam,
Right.
that's it. That's it.
First question.
Okay, so yeah, who's Fred?
Who's Fred?
Yeah. So you asked me if I was in contact with a market maker.
There we have him.
Fred
Okay.
is a market maker.
Fred is a market maker,
Okay.
for sure. Whenever I pull him on the chart, it's
He's a real gladiator.
Larry Fink listens.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
That's Fred.
He's growing fast now.
Yeah.
Quite
Hint,
style.
hint.
It's a new meme coin.
Okay.
I can feel it. Fred the meme.
Yeah, okay, let's stay on track
You're
here.
bringing me on a good
sorry.
idea, actually.
Yeah, because you also do memes, but let's talk about it a little bit after that. Yeah, because I think we're talking about the bubble. We're all in this bubble now, and you see the same traders in your Discord, and Jip is not right now, but in Jip's Discord, and Sergio's, and I think we're all also trying to find our way. What do we do with Sergio's data? And this week was a perfect example that the buy was and this is on Thursday. Who knows what happens when the week
Sure.
ends? Because the data is pointing towards even further decrease. How does that influence your trading? How do the two combine?
So I've been very interested in the data from Sergio Tesla, because the way I trade is basically topping formations or bottom formations.
Yeah.
And if you can actually have data backing you up, saying, hey, this high has a X% chance of being the high,
Right.
and you also have that distribution confirmation, that's like, I think, if you want to be profitable in the long term, and you just wait for distributions that have like a 70% chance of being the high, then it's like, that's the odds being in your favor, right?
Yeah.
So I've been very interested in that data. It's just, I've been so busy, and I already have a system running that is profitable.
Yeah.
It's like you need to have that extra push in order to actually dive deep into that data and to combine it. But I do want to do that, because I think having data backing your accumulation and distributions model, I think that
So
can
strong.
be so strong.
Yeah.
Like so strong.
You're in contact with him, right?
Yes, I'm in contact.
You mentioned something around those lines. Yeah, because if it's the price is dropping and it's forming some sort of accumulation, but his data is pointing towards even further, you think, is this going to be it? So you're hesitant to step in.
Yeah.
But even though there is a model 1 or 2 in your vocabulary, but I missed a couple of trades also because of that, because you're thinking, okay, it must go further south.
Yeah. Well, I also talk about, because I released the mentorship on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen everything from that, but later down the videos, in more the advanced concepts, I also talk about sometimes how the purpose of the accumulation is to go over in the distribution, right? So maybe, let's say the data is saying lower and you're seeing an accumulation.
Right.
you could say like, okay, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna have an extended target because we're still expecting lower. Probably this accumulation will go over into some sort of distribution. So that's how I would incorporate it in the senses when data is saying lower, but you're still getting that high probability setup.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm really curious to see how that evolves over the coming weeks.
Yeah, I've been pushing him to say like, yo, if you can combine that data on the traditional markets, that's gonna be game changing because crypto is a 24/7 market.
Right.
So it's way less focused on sessions. So he's talking about Asia sessions, you know, not putting in the high or the pivot point of the week or the day or whatsoever. Gold or just commodities, Forex, and indices, they are driven so in an algorithmic way where you can clearly see it's 8 a.m., boom, moves happen, right?
Right.
So if you see that move at 8 a.m. and then you have data backing it up, it's going to be way stronger and way more powerful than in the crypto market where it's 24/7.
Yeah, sure.
So he's saying Q4 or Q1 2025. So I'm very curious how that will be.
Let's see.
He's building.
Yeah.
A little bit about you and the time that you spent before becoming the TCT trader. Because I also read a tweet somewhere that you shed so many blood, sweat, and tears before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How did it, well, I know how it feels because we're still doing that. Apart from that, how was your journey up to that point?
It's been a crazy journey, an absolute crazy journey. I was always. The thing with trading is that I was already very disciplined when I was like 16 because I was going to school, I was passing my classes, I was playing soccer 4 times a week at a decent level, and then also kickboxing. I was working out, doing school. That was it. I never had, struggles with any form of discipline. And then trading came, and I couldn't have discipline in risk management. I didn't recognize myself. I was like,
okay.
Who is this person? Like, who takes over when I'm behind the PC and all of a sudden I have this impulsive state of mind and you start pressing buttons and then 30 minutes later you're like, what did I just do? Okay. So it was very humbling. I think it's a very humbling experience, which looking back, I also probably needed in order to also evolve as a person and as a human being because it taught me so much patience. I was very, very humbled. I had to realize that I can't always be right because I always wanted to be right, but sometimes you're just wrong and you have to accept that. And I started trading when I was 16 because...
You're now 20...
20.
20. You're
20.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
20.
Okay.
But I started trading when I was 16, and my first thought about trading was when my dad kind of brought me in the crypto market when we were breaking the all-time high from 2017. So in 2020 December, I really started knowing about crypto, and he told me to download this app called HODL, which was just this app where you can track the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and just different crypto coins. And I opened that app. I was in math class in high school. And I saw the Bitcoin price change every few seconds on the app. And I was like, well, if I bought now
what the fuck am I doing?
and sold 5 seconds later, I could have made $50.
Yeah.
So I was like, trading. And then on YouTube, I searched a few videos, and then your whole algorithm becomes trading videos. And then that's when my trading journey started. And then it took me 3 years, 3 solid years to before turning profitable. And then obviously I was in high school, so I would say that first year was kind of half because I was still doing school, friends, it was my final year, my exam year as well. And I did not take it that seriously, but I was very involved. And then I went down indicators, didn't work out. And then I went down the exo charts, didn't work out. Divergences, combining it all, didn't work out. And I was like, oh man, like
when does the hurting stop?
Yeah, when can I actually do this? Right? Can I actually do this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, all these divergences, entering on those wicks, it was too fast for me, not my style. So I was like, okay, maybe more patient approach using market structure, smart money concepts, just searching videos. Literally a video popped up regarding liquidity. And I was like, this is interesting. And then from there, I got into the smart money thing. But basically, I went into crypto when I was 16, and I had like 2,000 to my name, which is saved up money from grandma and grandpa and
Yeah,
games.
right.
And then I put it all into crypto coins, and it went up to like 15K. I felt
Yeah.
like the man. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a millionaire when I'm 21.
Yeah.
Or I was at 18. I said when I was 18.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Because then I had like 15K, and I was like, holy shit, right? I was like,
Yeah.
I felt crazy. And then I started leverage trading, properly leverage trading.
Right.
And then I wrote that 15 all the way down to 1.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
lost that one as well.
Yeah.
And then I remember very well, my dad felt very bad for me, very sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was just painful because none of my friends were into trading. So it was this solo journey
Yeah.
where no one knew the things I was trying behind my computer, what I was doing at home. And then you're just getting humbled and humbled and humbled, and no one knows. I wasn't telling anyone I was losing. Like, why would I tell
No.
people that
You
I'm
don't
losing?
tell, no,
True.
no.
Yeah.
So it's just, you're like in this battle with yourself of like, why can't I make this work? Why am I just losing money over and over again? Am I
Right.
not good? You start doubting. And I remember losing it all. And then my dad felt bad for me because literally we longed we longed the top of Bitcoin at like 68,500. I had a leverage long. Like on the second deviation, like the all-time high, I opened the long and I fully got liquidated and lost all the money. My dad felt bad for me, and he was like, he sent me 1,000 euros to my Bybit account, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna trade this money. I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos, study, backtest, paper trade, and then build back up. And then from there,
There started.
the journey to profitability actually
yeah.
properly started with ups and downs, many downs.
Sure. Sure.
And
Yes,
only
sir,
only the last 12 months I have been properly profitable. Because you go from losing to losing less to kind of being a break-even trader to then turning profitable a bit and then very profitable. So
So there's hope.
Still there's hope.
yeah,
There's
so
always hope.
so going into 2024, I was that break-even trader.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I kind of had to actually get down psychology in order to become profitable. That was my flipping point from, I was already doing TCT schematics when I was unprofitable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I also tell people this is not the golden nugget. You know, it's not anything fancy. It's just liquidity concepts. You can trade it. It works well. But if you don't put in the hours and you don't get the experience and you don't master your risk management, trade management, your psychology, you're not going to become a profitable trader. So I really push that on people because for me, I was doing TCT schematics and I was unprofitable. And I had to
Right.
get psychology properly down in order to use TCT to be profitable.
But how do you get your psychology?
I
order.
watched an interview. It's on YouTube from Mark Douglas, who wrote
Yeah.
the book Trading in the Zone. And what he said was something that resonated with me. Like, it was literally the solution to why I was unprofitable. And he said, if you're back testing, the result you get, or the difference in the result from your back testing sessions and your live trading sessions shows the lack in capability of your trading psychology. Because what I would do is I would have a bad trading week and I would go and back test the strategy. And then when I back test, I had good results. And then I went back to trading live and I didn't get the results of my back testing session. So I'm like, well, how do I improve? Right? Because the back testing is going amazing. But then when I'm trading live, it's not going amazing. And he said it shows a lack in your trading psychology. And me, the people that know me know that I'm like, I just say like, I'm built different. I don't need that trading psychology stuff, right? I got that down. And then I was like, I totally do not have that down. So that's when I started focusing on approaching the market. And I was literally saying to myself, okay, this one single trade does not matter. I'm going to take 100 trades using this strategy. And each trade, it's only a winner if I stuck to my plan that trade. So I enter, I have a stop loss, I have a take profit. And the only expectation I have is not making money, but it's sticking to the plan, building good trading habits. Right. I remember, and I was with my partner, Wyckoff Insider, and we were taking the trades. And every time we took the trade, before taking the trade, we accepted the loss. We just accepted the loss immediately. The moment we entered the trade, okay, this money is gone, right? And then the only thing we focused on is building good habits, meaning we're not going to randomly take profit. We're not going to move our stop loss randomly if we can't. We just need to stick to the plan. And if you're trading for then 3 years, like something also needs to snap in you to have that moment of realization of, okay, this actually needs to change. And then when I saw that interview, I was like, okay, we need to change our trading psychology.
Right.
And then we approached every trade with just, okay, we accepted the loss before entering, and then building good habits.
Yeah.
That is resonates so much to me right now. Indeed, I'm approaching this moment like something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because so many times you feel bad about yourself that damn, why did I do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no, but I think people underestimate how tough it can be for a person, for an individual, because it's already an individual thing, trading, you know? That's why I love having a community now, starting that community of helping each other, showing the losses and the profits, but also on personal development, you know? Because if you can go to the gym consistently, that can kind of give you that confidence. When trading is not working out, you can look back and you're like, well, but, you know, I went to the gym back to back to back every day. I didn't give up. I did this, I did that. And you can use that confidence to also motivate yourself into, I can make this trading thing work.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps a question to finalize this. I would like to ask so much more, but luckily I'm in your Discord. Talking about that Discord, what are the plans for, let's say, for the next 12 months for it?
So I want to make everything even more better, like streamlined from a streamlined perspective, like easy live streams each time, just good quality on everything. Like I'm very autistic in that. I want everything to be high quality. No good proper mics, you know. I just good mics, good sound, good quality, good connections, and all that stuff. And then preferably the Discord to me is truly just the beginning. It's the beginning to start a good community. What it can involve in is preferably I want to just have a massive community, but also with maybe even other professionals who are all integrated into one server with many members, and people can decide where they want to hang out the most. But I'm really a visionary of like, okay, I'm starting a community now. These traders are going to become demons on the chart. But then from there, it's just like I want to have the biggest community of also maybe even other professionals. Hey, who knows, Sergio Tesla? You never know,
sure,
right?
Yeah.
But just have professionals who are maybe specialized in futures, professionals who are also located in America, so we have Asia time zones where there's still activity, and just this unbeaten server where if you want to study anything, you can just go there and learn.
Great stuff.
Sounds like a plan.
I love the energy. We only started our TCT journey. I'm really curious where it will bring us. Thank you for coming for Amersfoort, and we'll have a great time trading all together. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.